Welcome back everyone, my name's Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Pathfinder Kingmaker. Where we left off last time, we were dealing with problems in our capital. The epidemic continues, more and more people die, more and more monsters roam your lands. Some of your subjects have already fled in search of safer havens. Your Barony's very existence is in danger. We do have good news too. I managed to gather some information that I hope will help you eliminate the threat before it's too late. Shortly after the epidemic started, the goblins began appearing everywhere. Locals report that these goblins have been celebrating and shouting something about the day of glory for Lamashtu, when all humans would be eaten by monsters and only goblins would remain. Sounds disturbing, does it not? Lamashtu, what do we know about her? She's the goddess. She's called the mother of monsters. Her symbol is the three-eyed jackal head. She's an ancient and extremely evil goddess who spreads nightmares, insanity, and perhaps most interesting to us, monsters. Her worshippers are mostly of the more monstrous races like goblins, lamias, and gnolls. That said, there's no short supply of secret followers and cults among the civilized people too, including the people of the River Kingdoms. So we need to find the goblin leader and press them for information. Any idea where to begin? I'm sorry, no. Panic spread everywhere. My agents had to run for their lives after villagers mistook them for spies and well poisoners. They were almost lynched on the spot. All we know for sure is that there's a large goblin village somewhere within the Barony. You have to locate it for yourself, I'm afraid. So the goblins are behind this disaster. Behind it, doubtful. Benefiting from it, quite likely. I'd surmise that the true cause of this disaster is either human cultist Lamashtu or, worse, some supernatural creature related to her. In any case, the goblins likely know enough to provide some clue. Thanks. Hope it helps you save the lives of your people. Jod's eyes are bloodshot and his posture is slack. The wrinkles on his face have deepened and his sparse hair has gone grey. It's a disaster, Your Grace. We have an epidemic developing in the country. The afflicted first get a fever, then a bloody cough, then several hours later, the cleric shakes his head and grimaces. Well, that's just half the trouble. Afterwards, the bodies of the afflicted become like some kind of cocoon and monsters hatch out of them. People keep dying and we haven't the slightest clue what's causing it or how to deal with it. Tristan and I established a field hospital in the building of the former prison. Don't look at me like that, there are no better places to choose from. Frankly, we were lucky to find this one. To cut a long story short, we have a female patient who's volunteered for vivisection. It means cutting into her living body to look for the source of this disease. Jod frowns. After the surgery, Aras will forgive us, we'll be lucky if we can close her up and let her go alive and well. However, we don't want to do it without your presence, Your Grace, so please try and find some time to attend. There's one more thing. Jod hands you a battered letter. Keston, the dunce, sent a message. He rambles from place to place. These letters are all we ever received. Well, just look at it. It's urgent. We happen to have a master vivisectionist available. Send for Bartholomew Delgado. The wizard frowns, Jod frowns at the wizard's name, but then nods. Fine, you're right. He's certainly peculiar, but none can deny his knowledge. He may be able to help us. Vivisection? What exactly are you going to do? What? We're going to find the source of the disease, that's what. Once the monster emerges, the body of the afflicted is torn to pieces, making it impossible to learn anything from the remains. But we found one brave woman who gave us permission to cut her open. The straits are dire, but we don't know exactly what we're looking for, and the vivisection is extremely dangerous for the patient, but we're left with no other choice. And what do we know about the disease? Not much, just primary symptoms, actually. We're not even sure if it is a disease, a curse, or some magical parasite. Perhaps with your help, we'll manage to learn more. Why wait for volunteers? You could perform the surgery on a random patient without waiting for them to explode. Bite your tongue, I'm a cleric, not some butcher. My duty is to save and comfort people, not. He goes silent and shakes his head, frowning. Alright, let's go. We can deal with this little problem, I think. As long as our Smilodon's there. If it's not there, then we are in serious trouble. Okay, it is. Whew. This is our hospital. Jod shows us around the bleak, comfortless building with its barred cells. The prison is certainly not the best location, nor the healthiest, but it's better than nothing. Also, it might be cruel to say this, but considering the nature of the malady, it would be safer for everyone if the patients were kept behind bars until they're healed. Why the prison? Was there no place more suitable? If only the city had a clinic. Even if it did, the prison would still be the best choice. Don't forget, at any moment, one of the patients could, die and release a monster. It's safer for everyone if we keep them locked up. Where are all the prison inmates? There were not but a few pickpockets locked away here. We put them to work cleaning the place up, then set them free. There's one still here, though. He wasn't some petty thief, but a seasoned highwayman. What have you already tried? Standard spells to heal disease, remove poison, and lift curses, all ineffective. Attempting to dispel the magic is also fruitless. I fear we may be dealing with a curse of strength enough to surpass our own faith. It isn't a matter of faith. I don't think it's a disease, let alone some powerful curse. I think it's some sort of parasite hiding within the body. Nonsense. We detected magic suffusing each patient's body, evenly distributed. Even if it was some sort of parasite, it would be a simple matter to detect. Then it's able to disguise itself. Maybe it's been poisoning their blood with its magic. By the sun, we've returned to this argument over and over. It's been days. Let's stop talking and do something already. Who's the patient? Her name is Madla Stastek? Stastic, sorry. A peasant woman from a nearby village. We hadn't seen any prior cases of the disease there. I pray for that brave woman. She's the first one to mount the courage necessary to volunteer for the surgery. We cannot let her down. Where's it going to happen? Well, that room was previously a torture chamber. There's already a suitable table. Good, have no need for a torture chamber anyways. I thought as much. Give me a few moments to look around, if you must, but please don't take long. We're going to quick save here. Because there is going to be, spoiler, an owlbear that's going to pop out here. We're going to ignore all these patients because we don't particularly care about them. Let's talk to Madla Stasik. Noticing you, the patient, a ruddy-faced, middle-aged peasant woman, blinks her eyes. Imagine that, His Grace himself paying me a visit. Good health to ya. I'm Madla Stasik from Sedgedale. So you think these priests of yours can really heal me? With the restless help they could, I bet. Just look how brainy they seem, the two of them. How are you feeling? Got a fever, cough too, can't eat, been puking all the time, or I feel like puking all the time. Been through worse, though. Born 6 kids and survived. But still, this scares me breathless. Each tingle in my body gets me shaken, and I think to myself, that's it, it started, now I'll be ripped to shreds. Tell me about yourself. Nothing to tell, really. We're a simple people with simple lives. Spent all mine in Sedgedale. It's by Gudrun River, past Silverstep Lake. Raised my children there. They're grandchildren. Never seen monsters worse than goblins then. But now owlbears and hydras everywhere. Prayed to the gods to spare our village, but no. The blight fell right upon my own head. Why'd you volunteer? I'm scared like a hare, truth be told. But this is no mere cold. I can't just hope it'll pass on its own. At least this way I got some hope, right? And then, well, the doctors will figure it out. What to do about the plague. I'm no hero, not me, but sometimes you gotta think about others too. If they end up butchering me, at least maybe they can figure out how to save someone. If I gotta die, let it be for a good cause, right? Well, get ready, we're about to begin. As long as you're nearby, I got nothing to be scared of. Well, don't say that. I like how she's like perfectly fine talking to me, even though I have a... what I'm assuming is about a 7-foot tall Smilodon? Well, maybe not quite that tall. It's about shoulder level, so maybe like 5 foot tall.
Not hesitate.
Saber-toothed tiger, it's pretty big anyways. Let's talk to these guys. Gentlemen, are you ready? Please, we cannot delay much longer. Let's begin. Jod breathes in deeply, then exhales slowly. Arrest will be with us. Sarah and Ray help us. Bartholomew can do this. He's good at chopping up people. Glancing nervously at the various medical instruments, the brave peasant woman got up on the operating table. Just don't butcher me is all I ask, she muttered in a trembling voice. Meanwhile, the foremost medical experts in the room still couldn't agree on what exactly it was they're trying to do. Stop arguing with me. Coughing up blood is a sure sign the problem's in the lungs. We should look there. Jod insisted. No, it's nausea we should be focusing on. We need to examine the stomach. Bartholomew, the mad, sadistic wizard, had been summoned here for some reason. He remained silent, checking the patient's pulse. The clerics turned to the Baron in desperation, asking him to resolve their dispute. After careful consideration, he decided to side with Tristan and search for the source of disease in the patient's stomach. Without wasting further time arguing, Jod said a short prayer to Erastil and took the scalpel Tristan offered him. Candlelight reflected off the surgical instruments and potion bottles. As Jod's scalpel made the first incision on the woman's skin, I could hear her inhale loudly through clenched teeth. I confess, I lacked the courage to watch the surgery. Even after I turned away, I couldn't help but tremble from hearing the poor woman's screams. The air filled with the acrid scent of medical potions while Tristan mumbled prayers to ease the patient's pain, simultaneously scanning her body with his magical sight. All I could do was whisper my own prayers, but the Baron, he didn't lose his courage. He... helped Jod by advising him on the fastest and most efficient way to finish the surgery. We got the lore nature check done. The Baron's medical knowledge helped Jod immensely. The surgery was quickly over. The poor woman's screams and crying were unbearable. I couldn't begin to imagine what she was going through. I'm such a fool, Jod finally exclaimed. You were right. I'm glad we listened to you. Tristan used a heal spell to close the wound in the woman's stomach, and Jod showed everyone the strange item he'd extracted. It looked like some kind of seed, glowing, pulsing, thumb-sized seed. Before anyone could say anything, it flashed in Jod's fingers. He dropped it on the floor. Just in time, on the spot where the seed landed, a portal opened and a roaring monster jumped out of it. There are guards this time. Oh, there weren't guards before. And Bartholomew's here. Actually, we have a couple people with us this time that are all helping. We are going to just, you know, casually 5-foot step backwards because we don't want to be standing toe-to-toe with the owlbear. We're going to shoot it in the face once. Tristan's up next, and hit it for 3. Smilodon's turn. This is where the damage gets real, because our saber-tooth tiger is just a killing machine without equal. And the guards are going to come help, kind of. Well, one of them took a swing. No, Tristan, don't die. And the acid splash did very little damage. Actually did some fairly decent damage there. Tristan swings again, twice, and misses. We got Bless on us now, but our Smilodon again jumping in to lay waste and missing over half of its attack. Super. Good job, owlbear. If Tristan dies because of you, I'm going to be very displeased. I think he might have technically died, but he's fine. Come on. Nope. Yay, we healed a tiny... Oh, that's prayer. Never mind. And our Smilodon finished it off. Jod wipes the sweat from his brow, not even noticing the blood still on his hands. Erastil and Sarah Mabry praise. They were truly on our side this day. It's a miracle. Tristan hands Jod a clean towel. Jod puts himself together and wipes his face and hands. So what have we learned? We've learned I was a pompous fool and Tristan was right all along. It's not a disease but a parasite, something of vegetative origin. It resembles a seed. I'm sorry, my friend, I should have wagged my tongue less and listened to you more. Please don't mention it. It was a lucky guess, not worthy of your praise. Are you able to cure the others of this disease? Yes. Now that we know what we do, we can extract the seeds with much less risk to the patients and with much less suffering. What will you do next? There are many patients here. We'll start working on them immediately, and you, Your Grace, may want to search the body, or search for the source of this disease. We still know neither where the seeds come from, nor how they get into people's bodies. New patients arrive daily, and how many never even find their way to the hospital. Our efforts here are not enough by themselves. We need to find the root of this problem. I should go. Please find the source of these wretched seeds. I will, but I'm also going to take a look at the body of the owlbear because I want to skin it. Got myself an owlbear rug. Alright, let's get out of here. We did take a hit. We were fine. Didn't kill us. In the beta, I think it was, of this game, you didn't get guards, and no one helped you during the fight. So, I was playing a rogue, I think, at that time, and I just couldn't beat the owlbear. It just kept crushing my face. It was brutal. Hera mumbles himself, pulling on his beard. Finally, he notices you. Eltimar, allow me to speak. For those who cannot protect themselves and their faith, the priests of Erastil and the priests of other gods, they've turned to the ancient faiths that once flourished in the stolen lands, now long since passed into eternity. The final traces are the ancient shrines and idols which lay hid among the swamps and woods, symbols of transience and decay. They wish to demolish these idols. They seek to destroy with fire and chisel all that would remind them that all things must come to an end. Harem strokes his beard broodingly. Whoever it was that once worshipped these idols, their faith deserves our respect. It's your decision, but I would not destroy these ritual places because the god they devoted to isn't well known. I myself searched such a god, often decried by ignorant tongues. We could just grind them to dust. Yep. He sighs hopelessly. Another shadow of the past to dissolve before its proper time. It's a pity. It's not a pity. No one cares. Especially not... Wait. Dragon, is that you? Yes. He bows, coughing quietly into his beard. Your Grace, I would like to apologize. I suppose I was a little headstrong during my last visit. I have a bad temper. In the mountains they used to call me Grumbler. Well, I didn't expect my petition to be taken seriously. No one wants to share with strangers, even if the demands are lawful. Please know I appreciate your honesty. Please accept this. I worked hard on it. I hope it serves you well. It's a decent piece of work, to be fair, but not a masterpiece. Masterpieces are rare, once-in-a-lifetime accomplishments. Anyway, I have an idea how to use our family relic for your greater glory, but I'm going to need your help. Come by if you're interested, and I'll tell you more. Thank you for your gift. It's a pleasure to work hard for such an honorable lord. What exactly did he give us? He gave us a ankle breaker, which is a heavy crossbow. That is a slowdown +1 enhancement crossbow. Pretty fancy. What do we have for items? That's that. That's a shock light crossbow. Actually, is that better than the one Lindsay's using? What does she even have? Yeah, it is. It's slightly better than the one she's using. It has shock on it, which I think is 1d6 lightning damage as well. Yeah, it totally is. Very nice. Forgot to put it on before, but it's fine now. We still have that keen cookery. We can probably almost go get, what's his face's name? Knock Knock. I actually think we can go to Knock Knock now. I just can't remember where the Goblin village is. You know what? I think I can just do this. Let's just, while this thing loads, go into here. I have an old bunch of screenshots I made of the map, which actually might help me find this place. I know I've seen it before. It's over by the bridge. Yes. Stop yelling and listen to me. I'm trying to talk some sense into you. There's something to talk about. I love. This is my home. Here I was born, and here it is I die. You dolt. That's what I'm saying. You'll stay and you'll die before your time. Can't you see what's going on? Monsters, goblins, bandits. Turn your back for a moment, and there's some fiend crawling right out of your neighbor's entrails. You talk too much. Just do your work and pray to Erastil and stay close to your home and family. That's all there is to it. I've seen worse. Aye, back when you were half your age and unmarried. Eric, old friend, think of Jenny and your little ones. What if some beast comes knocking at your door? You're a woodcutter, not a swordsman. We have to leave the barony while we still can. Aye, Erastil, have mercy. Your grace. Forgive us, your grace. We were discussing the crops. I understand you're worried about your close ones and yourself, but hear me. Without loyal, upstanding people by my side, I can never rescue this realm from the evils plaguing it. If you stay, I swear I'll do everything in my power to put an end to this madness. Both men listen to you quietly, then look to each other, then clumsily bow to you. We understand your grace. These are tough times indeed. And there are things, all sorts of things that you have to deal with. Don't go listening to fools. All loyal and true will stand by your side.
Forwards.
Where are we going? Alright, we're leaving town. We're gonna go find Knock Knock. I'm pretty sure we can find the Goblin Village now. I think that was the quest we had to do before it unlocks. So, it's just to the southeast of here, I think, if I'm not mistaken. That's the hunting lodge. That's where we can go. But I think the Goblin Village is right here, if I'm not mistaken. It's really close to the hunting lodge. If it's not there, then we can just do the hunting lodge thing. But we're going to try to find the Goblin Village. Random encounter. Interesting. What do we got? Uh-huh.
We march ahead.
People are coughing down here. Hello? A refugi? Orchid, a group of travelers carrying bags, sacks, or satchels, and sacks full of armor, of all manner of goods and chattels, are shuffling their feet on the road in front of you. Two tougher-looking men are helping one of their companions stand. A pale youth who is shivering, his face covered in sweat. As you approach, the men turn to you and glare at you. Your grace? This young fellow, what's wrong with him? Oh, Pherrid, you mean? Must have eaten something. He was fine, see, then fell sick, fever and all, and in the morning he began to cough blood. Erastil willing, he'll make it to the border and we'll find him a healer there. Pherrid gives a few muffled coughs, the feverish glint in his bloodshot eyes, the glow in his cheeks, the distant look on his face. You've seen this before. This is what the unfortunate servant looked like moments before a monster erupted from his body. There's nothing you can do for Pherrid. His signs are like the others afflicted. Any moment a monster might tear his way out of him. Keep your distance. Urk pales and looks at the others. Listen up, his voice is hoarse. All back, behind the Baron. I'm sorry, Pherrid. I have to think of the others as well. It's just the fever. I'm not a dark. Owlbear time. Hold up, where's the rest of my group? Are they all stacked on top of one person? I think they actually might be. Oh, they're all stacked up right here. Oh, our owlbears. Oh no, our Smilodon just took some beatings because apparently the owlbear rolled a really good initiative. And now we're lightning bolting this thing. Alright, we need to get Valerie in there to tank. And stab it in the face. I don't think that Amiri can charge, which means she can't attack this turn, which is annoying, but nothing we can do about that. Octavia. Just shoot. Yay, 11 acid damage isn't bad. Maybe you can charge. Yes, perfect. This should hopefully be able to finish it off. We have some decent flanking going on. And that'll be that. Cursed lands, cursed Barony. Great gods, what did we do to deserve this? I got it, no big deal. What did you even have? Wait, that's not right. Somebody that can chop up bodies. Get down. No. You. Get over here. Oh, we can't actually... Apparently we can't skin the owlbear person. Thank you. Alright, Orchid. What do you gotta say for yourself? Orchid's hands are shaking as he turns to face you. His voice raises to shout. Cursed lands, cursed Baron, all your fault. Verdun died because of you. We're all gonna die because of you. Typical. I don't want to get to the bottom of things. I know exactly who's to blame. I protect this realm for you. I fight monsters, and all I hear in return is cursing and the mewling of cowards, you ungrateful, narrow-minded fools. Brevoid loyal traitor, I hope you die in a ditch, Baron. Woof. I will not be able to protect you if you leave for Galt. Turn back, and inside the capital you'll find protection from the beasts. You'll at least be safe, or at least you will at least save those who can be saved. The wrath on earth. Urkid's face gives way to disbelief. Is that so? You want to sweep us away from our neighbor's sight? He wipes away his tears. 'Tis all the same, no matter where we breathe our last. Be it away from home in a foreign land or out in the city streets. Let us die in peace. You hear that, lads? We turn back. I mean, at least they stay with us, I guess. We succeeded at the diplomacy check. He did go home, at least. he could be safe there, I guess. Anyways, we really want to just get to the Goblin place, which is right... No, it's not right there. Well, I mean, it is right here, but we can't see it yet. Which means, I think we have to go to the Lonely Mill first. Oh, right. We have to do the Goblin event first. Right, I forgot entirely about this. While passing the windmill, we saw a curious thing. Goblins were squatting in the shadow of the building, doing what goblins do best, stuffing their faces. They had gutted sacks of flour and were spreading the wealth. Some fried pancakes on an open fire, others threw pieces of dough into a bubbling pot, making some kind of dumplings, yet others rolled around in the white powder, shoving clumps down their throats. All of them, without exception, were guzzling ale from kegs nearby, spilling it over each other and bellowing songs. When they spotted us, the merry goblins, possibly due to the ale, stood their ground instead of fleeing. They started to whistle and wave, inviting us to join their feast. In response, the Baron said, "Why not?" and took a place near the fire. I'd never seen a goblin party before, but it proved a little different from the late-night academy reveries. Using their crippled speech, the flour-drenched merry-goers explained that the miller invited them to his house, told them to take whatever they wanted, and was polite enough not to ruin the fun, and left soon after that. The food tasted as foul as expected, but the ale was passable, so soon all of us were tipsy. After these little troublemakers unmistakably recognized our Baron as our leader, they offered him to pass several tests to become part of the tribe. For the first test, they demanded him to deal with a terrible beast, the dog. Goblins and dogs, well, they don't get along. Neither with horses, and will just want any animal that doesn't sting, bite, or hiss. The Baron's task was to steal the miller dog's food plate, so he laughed and accepted the invitation. The dog proved rather big but lazy and quiet. It was slumbering in the kennel, paying no heed to the nearby party. The dog's plate, covered in bones, lay before the kennel. The Baron took the plate, ignoring the dog completely. Nosing someone tried to steal his plate, the dog opened its eyes, it raised its head, gave a half-hearted bark, then laid its head back down on the ground and closed his eyes. After the goblins praised the Baron for his brilliant performance during the first test, they announced it was time for him to taste their ritual drink, a really nasty thing called a yagwort. At first glance it proved to be ale, until we saw the dead toads bobbing in the barrel for flavor. Judging by the toad's color, they were poisonous. After the Baron saw the brew, he smelled it, he bravely filled the keg from the barrel. The barrel smelled horrible. The goblins were scooping the ale in their dirty hands, and when that proved not enough, they dipped their entire heads in fishing toads out of the barrel with their teeth and licking the toads' ale-blistered skins, and then tossing them back in. The Baron drained the first keg to its dregs. I succeeded in my constitution check. I wasn't actually expecting that. I dropped dead having just smelled it, but the Baron downed the horrific beverage without even wincing. Clapping their hands, the goblins brought him another keg. He did the same thing again, and we failed this time. The Baron's face turned pale, then red. His eyes brimming with tears, unable to keep it down, he spat the horrible beverage into some goblin's face and started to cough. The goblins hurried to whack the Baron's back, laughing, either to help him or clear his throat, or congratulating him on passing another test. Now the third test, the goblins howled and cheered. It seems they decided that they had tortured the art of cooking enough for the day, so now they sought to abuse the art of poetry instead. They're going to sing a song, and the Baron offered to improvise and add the missing lines. He answered, "Why not?" Accompanying the song with percussions were everything the goblins could reach: 6 branches, forks, pans. They started to croak out a rhythm as well as they were able. Goblins, sing for you the song, how be smart and fit and strong, how be the goblin best. Goblin lasses, be all impressed. Goblin lasses, be all impressed. Goblins fight and goblins bite, goblins steal, goblins hide. But be bestest, goblin skill is that his belly is hard to fill. Manticore deep in the wood, eat goblins for food, not good, so as not to be his prey. Scream like hell and run away. Goblin King be strong and wise, Manticore he want full size, but we better eat and drink. So a toast to Goblin King, sure. Goblin sang the song to you, if you be a goblin new. Always heed these simple rules. To be smarts and no fools. Sure. Finally the song was over. My ears almost bled from the rhymes, but the Baron kept calm. To the goblin's utter joy, he finished the song and got a standing ovation as a reward. Finally, the food and ale were exhausted. Casting sad glances at the empty sacks and barrels, an elder goblin sighed and started a speech about how he remembered the happy old times when they were full. But no one seemed to be listening. As the old goblin rambled on, another goblin, slurring his word, invited us to the next party in their village, and after many false starts, gave us directions on how to reach it. A dubious honor indeed, but a useful bit of information. After that, the sodden merry-goers stumbled away, burping and licking their fingers happily. Which is just down here, actually. It's right here. Although we do have an exclamation mark, but we're gonna go get Knock Knock. Although it might not be in this video, because we only really have 5 minutes left. Well, we'll work on getting Knock Knock. It's totally worth getting Knock Knock, by the way. He is really good. Now, unfortunately, I think that we get in trouble for going in here. There might actually be fights. I know there's at least one fight.
Without a doubt.
So we're gonna just kind of passively look. Oh, there's a Hydra. Let's go with us, Beastie. He'll like it there. Friends in the village, food too. Hey, why is he be roaring? Hey, Beastie. We're no food, we be friends. It killed them. That primal Hydra just murdered those poor sweet goblins. They did nothing wrong. That was 15 damage. That was a pretty good sneak attack, actually.
This is where I step in.
We missed all 3 of our attacks with Lindsay. What's its armor class, actually? 20. 22, that's it? It's flat-footed. How did you miss all your attacks, Lindsay? Oh, come on. At least Smilodon should be able to hit. They have like plus 20 to hit or something. Oh, they have concealment. It has concealment. I didn't notice that before. Why? I guess it's technically sort of shrouded, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's only a 20% concealment. Come on, guys. Let's make this happen.
Taste my fury.
Nice. How much damage was that? 49 damage. Critical hit sneak attack. Beautiful. That was kind of lucky, actually. Alright, we might actually just have to call it here. I don't think we're going to be able to do this. Oh, these are Masterwork short swords. The short bows are worthless, but still. We're going to call it here, I think. In the next video, we'll go through the Goblin camp and pick up Knock Knock. And then Octavia will be taking a trip out of our group, unfortunately, because between Octavia and Knock Knock in terms of sheer damage, Knock Knock wins handily. He is just a murder machine. Probably one of the best characters in the game in terms of raw damage, so we're going to pick him up for sure. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time. Take care.